My dad was in the Army for 4 years. He served in Vietnam for 1 year in 1968 to 1969. Veterans Day is very important to us. We celebrate it together. We usually go and have breakfast together at the American Legion with other veterans and their families. Tonight we're going to go and take our dad to a veterans musical event. It's just really important. We want our dad to know how much we appreciate him and everything that he did for us.
Well, actually, I served in the Marine Corps, in the Marines, and I've also actually served in the Army National Guard. But most of my time in the military was in the Marines. I did about 4 years active, 4 years reserve. And that's why we find that most Marines are very proud of being in the Marine Corps. We always keep our Marine Corps emblems around us. I personally appreciate Veterans Day, not so much as honestly for myself, because I know I'm a veteran. You look in my office, you know I was in the Marine Corps. You know, I'm very proud of that. But I appreciate Veterans Day because it helps me remember that there was actually other Marines who sacrificed more than I did.
My grandparents both did, and my aunts and uncles, and I actually served in the Army. I was in E4. I think it's just very important to remember why we have the freedoms that we have and the people who have given up their lives. And being in the military, you actually give a part of your freedoms away in order to allow other people to have freedom. So it's just very important that we remember that.
I just want to talk about a couple of family members that served in our military. My grandfather, John Herring, served in World War II in the South Pacific in the U.S. Army with the rank of Master Sergeant. And then his son, my uncle, Paul Herring, served in Vietnam War with a rank of captain. And I think that honoring our veterans, especially those that are still alive and those that are deceased, is an honor, because we never forget about their time served for our country, because if it weren't for these people, we wouldn't have freedom. And so thank you. I appreciate your service.
My oldest son was in the Navy and my youngest son was in the Air Force. It's really special because they chose after 9/11 to serve our country. I was against it at first because I was really scared because my oldest son actually served overseas 3 times, and my youngest son, he didn't have to go, but he wanted to really bad. But just to show our appreciation to all of our military.
My father served in the Army for 20 years. Well, my dad was drafted back in the late 60s. They were still doing the draft, and that was when Vietnam happened. And so my dad got sent to Vietnam. These members have put their lives on the line, especially with Iraq and Afghanistan and Vietnam, Korea, all those kinds of wars. These guys have put their lives on the line for our freedom and what they do for our country.
I served upon graduating from high school in 1977 up to, 1983, active. I was military police, stationed over in Europe. Upon leaving that enlistment, I came back home, started college, and I went into the reserve. And counting my number of years in reserve and active, I have over 20 years. Veterans Day means recognizing and honoring those who have served in the various armed forces of our country.
My brother is a sergeant in the Marine Corps. He's actually in Afghanistan right now. I think it's very important for those who don't serve to realize what the military does for us, allows us to go where we want, serve the God that we want, just do our daily activities like we want instead of how somebody else chooses for us.
I am currently still serving in the Army Reserves. I've been in since '99, so it's been just over 14 years now. My current position right now, I'm a platoon sergeant. for my unit, which means that I've got about 30 or 40 soldiers underneath me that I'm responsible for. There's not really a military installation around us. The closest one is Clovis, New Mexico. And so I think that sometimes that allows us to forget about the military and the things that are still going on. And so when you have Veteran Day events like we're going to have across our city as well, it serves as a good reminder of people as to what's going on, all the people that are fighting for it.